Okay. So the public hearing will begin, and Shauna Gates is our hearing officer.
Good morning, everyone. I'm here today to present a exceptions request for the Mission Rock development. We received a request from the development partner on September 30th for a request for exceptions to the subdivision code and subdivision regulations. Just to orient the group, the Mission Rock project site is here in the kind of just south of Oracle Park, and Mission Rock Phase 1 is shown in the green dashed line here. The subject of today's exception request is related to infrastructure that is constructed in this line represented by the yellow line here. And it is an electrical distribution alignment that is serving the Mission Rock site. This shows a map showing the overall build out of the final 4 phases of the development. Shown in green here is the first phase that is currently under construction. And then we have 3 more phases here. So the project constructed an overhead 12 kV electrical distribution line, which is currently serving construction power to the phase 1 area. Part of the requirements of this line is for future removal of the line and replacement of an underground permanent joint trench here shown in blue. So just some background, the 12 kV line has been constructed and it will be accepted by the Public Utilities Commission through the Board of Supervisors in October and November of this year. As described in the instructional bulletin, which permitted these improvements, and Public Works Order 205068, as well as the public improvement agreement, the developer is obligated to remove the 12 kV line at the developer's cost after the permanent power distribution infrastructure is installed in a future development phase. So that is represented by the blue line here. This will be the permanent alignment in a future phase. And then that future underground alignment or substructures will be constructed through phases 2 and 3, which will eventually replace this overhead segment. So for the request for exceptions, there's requirements in the subdivision code and regulations that would have been interpreted to require the developer to bond for the cost to remove the 12 kV overhead line, and as well as construct the underground improvements that will be constructed through the future phases. The request of the development partner is an exception to the above referenced subdivision code and regulations to allow the developer to defer posting security for both the removal of the overhead line as well as construction of the permanent substructures and underground substructures to future phases where these the security will be provided through a public improvement agreement. So it's not waiving the requirement for security, but it is postponing it to the phases in which the improvements will be constructed. Public Works has consulted with the city attorney as well as the Public Utilities Commission and has reached a consensus that all parties recommend approval of the exceptions request. And that's all. If there's any questions.
Does anybody from the public have any questions? If you are on the phone, please raise your hand by pressing *9. Or if you're using the app or desktop, please raise your hand and we'll call on you. Somebody else just joined. If anybody from the public has any questions, if you are calling in, you can press *9 to raise your hand. Looks like nobody, there's no comments. Okay, so if there. Okay, it looks like there's no public comment. So, yes, that's it.
Okay. Great. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you. We will now close this hearing.
And then I will stop the recording.
Yes.